Today, we are going to learn about lines, rays, and angles. We've talked about this a lot in calendar, so you should be pretty familiar with it. The difference is, today we're going to learn how to label them. Let's do the solve and share together. A right angle forms a square corner, like right here. We've done that a lot during calendar. Draw two angles that are open less than the right angle. Okay, go ahead and pause this and draw your two angles. Okay, I am going to draw two angles for you that are less than 90 degrees. So, here's one. This would be less than 90 degrees. And here's another one that's close to 90 degrees, but it will be less. So, I'm going to actually start by drawing a right angle. And then I'm going to pick another color, and I'm just going to go slightly less than 90 degrees. And then I'm going to erase this horizontal line. I kind of erased that part of the angle. I'm going to fix that for you. It's kind of hard to draw on here. There you go. All right. And on the bottom, we're going to draw an angle more than 90 degrees. So if it's more than 90 degrees, it's just open greater than 90 degrees. We are going to talk about common geometric terms. If we were at school, we would be taking notes on this. You do not have to take notes, but if you can keep this page, it's very important because these vocabulary words and the way that they're drawn and labeled is what you need to know. So we have point, line, line segment, ray, right angle, acute angle, obtuse angle, and straight angle are common geometric terms. We've talked about all of these, so you should be pretty familiar with the names of them. So first we're going to talk about a point, and a point is just an exact location in space. And when you label point, it just looks like this. You put a dot, and then you put the letter that you're going to label it with. We call it point Z. And that's just what we say. All right, and then we have our line. And a line is just a straight path of points that goes on in opposite directions. And it has the arrows on the end. And it usually has at least two dots on it. So we would label this line AB, and we would say line AB. So you would draw a line and write AB underneath it. Then we have our line segment. And a line segment, it looks just like a line, but it has two endpoints. And the endpoints are going to be labeled. And you would draw a little line with no arrows and the letters underneath it. And you would say line segment GR. And then last, we have a ray. And a ray is a part of a line that has one endpoint and continues on forever in only one direction. So here's our endpoint. And then we have our arrow, and it usually has two letters, if not more. So we would draw a ray and write NO underneath it and say ray NO. Now let's talk about angles. An angle is formed by two rays that have the same endpoint. So here we have A, B, and C. That is the name of this angle. So we have a right angle, so we would call it angle ABC. And it is a right angle because it has a 90-degree angle or a square corner. Our next DEF angle is going to be acute because it is open less than 90 degrees. If you can see it. So we call this angle DEF because of the letters. It is an acute angle and it is open less than a right angle. Then our next angle, GHI, that one is obtuse because, as you can see, it's open greater than 90 degrees. This little dot right here, these dots, these show you where 90 degrees would be. And so you see with the angle, it's open more. So this is angle GHI. It's called obtuse because it is open more than a right angle, but less than a straight angle. And last, we have our straight angle. And we still, even though it's a line, it's still considered an angle. So we call this angle JKL, and it is straight. So it is actually 180 degrees. Now, let's go to the convince me part. It says complete each figure to show the given angle. So if this was going to be obtuse, We just have to complete the drawing. So an obtuse angle is opened greater than 90 degrees. So I'm just going to draw a line that goes greater than 90 degrees and put a little dot on it, or sorry, an arrow. A straight angle would just continue straight. Acute angle would be less than 90 degrees, and a right angle would have a 90 degree or open like a book. It forms a right square angle. Do you understand? Let's do the guided practice together. What geometric term describes a part of a line that has one endpoint? Draw an example. I drew an example for you, and this is called a ray. Number 2, what geometric term describes a part of a line that has two endpoints? Draw an example. I drew one for you. The endpoints look a little funny, but it's hard to draw with the stylus, and it is called a line segment. And then we have our last one on this side. So 3, what geometric term describes an angle that forms a square corner? Draw an example. This is called a right angle. So for numbers 4 through 7, we need to use geometric terms to describe what is shown. So this is where you're going to label. So if you look at the page with all the definitions that we just did, that's going to be helpful. Number 4 is a line segment. So we are just going to label it based on the definitions from page 772. You draw a little line segment, and then we just put PX underneath it. So that just basically says line segment PX. All right, if we look at 5, that is a right angle. So that is just angle PQR, and then we're going to call it a right angle. We have to be specific when we're doing our angles to say whether it's right, obtuse, or acute. 6, you have your ray, so we're going to label it a ray like that with B and Y under it. And 7, we have another angle, so angle LMN. Make sure that whatever point is in the middle when you're labeling it. And since it's open less than 90 degrees, we're going to call it acute. All right, you are going to do numbers, the rest of them on this page and on the next page. I do want to show you 12 real quick, just so you understand what you're supposed to do. So on number 12, it says name 4 line segments. So if you look at this right here, you can pick any 4 line segments. So for example, we have line segment PR. So you would just label that one line segment PR. Whoops, let's do line segment over. So, and then you can just put a comma. And so then you'd pick another line segment. So another line segment that you could do could be this one. It could be line segment TU. Even though it doesn't go all the way through, it's still a line segment. So line segment TU. Then you'd put a comma, and you'd put 2 more. You're going to do that for 12, 13, and 14. Since I'm not having my regular Zoom meeting today, if you have any questions, you can pop in at the office hours tomorrow. I am not putting these pages up because it's going to be hard to draw them on your Google Classroom, but if you want to take a picture of it and send it to me, I can look at it. I'm just going to trust you that you're going to do it, and then tomorrow you will have the quick check and practice buddy for 15-1. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.